Welcome to our channel. Today, we'll explore William Shakespeare's views on education and its importance in society. Known for his literary works, Shakespeare often reflected on the human condition, and in this context, education played an essential role. Let's discover together what the great playwright said about education and how it influences the world we live in. In Shakespeare's time, education was largely reserved for the upper classes. Children from common families didn't have access to formal schooling and often learned trades through apprenticeships. However, Shakespeare had the privilege of attending a school in Stratford-upon-Avon, where he studied Latin and Greek literature, elements that would deeply influence his works. For Shakespeare, education wasn't just about acquiring academic knowledge but also about developing the ability to understand human nature and the world around us. One of the most important messages Shakespeare conveys through his works is moral education. His characters are often faced with ethical dilemmas and are forced to choose between right and wrong. In Hamlet, for example, questions of morality, revenge, and justice are crucial to the development of the plot. Shakespeare suggests that education is not just about accumulating information but also about forming an ethical conscience to guide one's behavior. In many of his plays, Shakespeare emphasizes the importance of a well-formed character. He suggests that education should include not only technical knowledge but also the development of one's character. As he says in Coriolanus, "He who knows is free." This means that education should help an individual understand not just how to live in the world but also how to define and follow their moral principles. Shakespeare understood that education plays an essential role in forming a balanced and functional society. In his plays, we often see differences between social classes and how education influences their status in life. For example, in The Taming of the Shrew, the education of a woman can be seen as a form of domestication, while in The Merchant of Venice, education is associated with power and manipulation. These observations suggest that Shakespeare saw education as a tool through which individuals can influence not only their own lives but also social structures. The more educated a person is, the more opportunities they have to assert themselves and become an active voice in society. Shakespeare used theater as a form of education, even for the general public. His plays were not just a source of entertainment but also a means of instruction. In fact, many of his plays, such as Romeo and Juliet, Othello, or Macbeth, tackle universal themes like love, revenge, ambition, and destiny. Through these themes, he educated his audience on human nature and the consequences of our actions. Shakespeare understood that theater has the power to shape collective thinking. Through his plays, he invited the audience to reflect on their own lives and the choices they make, demonstrating that education isn't limited to schools. It can be found in every aspect of life, including the performing arts. So, for William Shakespeare, education was not just a means of learning facts and figures, it was a way to develop critical thinking, to understand human nature, and to create a more balanced society. Whether we're talking about moral education, character formation, or the influence of education on social structures, Shakespeare teaches us that true education helps us better understand the world we live in and our role in it. Thank you for joining us as we explored these important ideas. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more lessons on classical literature and great thinkers. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.